Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the south side is the Black Hole Jess, we got Dark Rider in Leet Speak. So on top left side is the Orange Star Jake, we got CompanionTrapezoid, the companion to the companion cube, I think. Let's go ahead and shoot the pipe scene there, you monster. This map is a 3-base map, one airport, pipe scenes clear out for better traversement, or in this case the airport, a stealth insertion. Though it's pretty easy to knock the black boat with artillery piece, which the artillery piece can also take time to hit pipe scene, so I don't think I've ever seen this pipe scene ever destroyed. Seen this one nearly every single game. This one is actually still situational. It's about a 50-50 chance of see one of these get destroyed. Recon right here. Another recon as well. So it looks like just time for a bit of a recon rush. Jake has one for tank in Vision Jess's black boat and does do the same there. Check out, I love Jess in the Fog of War, but there's a lot of planes here. Should be interesting. Generally, I think the planes bonus from Jake, it's okay, nothing super great. You can use it to do a little bit extra better pushing. But I always find the weird thing that's hard for players to play around is those who use this power and super powerful +1 indirect range. Though this map is pretty wide open, so it may not be super easy for that. Not a lot of force for artillery piece to hide in. But I always find Jake a weird CO. He's an amalgamation of just different aspects. It's like a mix of Cole, mix of Jess, mix of, let's see, yeah, Cole is basically for the attack from terrain, and Jess for like the vehicle bonuses. I don't know. I just find Jake a weird CO of all. Sort of weird for me. Tank infantry. Because after all, +10% firepower on attack from planes is basically equal to +10% firepower to versus all vehicles. Though less stipulations and more firepower from battlecopters also in planes. So, to be honest, he's probably one of the most forgettable COs in all Advanced Wars. More forgettable than Davis from Days of Ruin. I think Jake and Cole are probably the least... No. The most forgettable CO is probably Jugger. I don't think I ever cast a single game with Jugger. Either way, we do got good core tanks up north by Jake. Jess is pushing over the left with her tanks there. Hits a couple units there. Jake has no response for any of the armor here. So it looks like both sides exchanging this side to their opponents. Tank, and infantry. Yeah. Too extreme, but flak is a little bit more reliable somehow. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Does get some hits there. 3 tanks here. Jake has rotated good core of tanks over here as well. They're somewhat on equal footings right now. Just goes for artillery pieces. Probably gonna be barraging down both the pipe scene and the black boat. The pipe scene's down to 48 health. Takes out the infantry unit there, but this tank's a little bit too far forward. Maybe keep these other tanks in reserve for a counterattack and use this tank as bait. Recon top of the forest there. Does go for a shot there. Hits one of the tanks. Does have more tanks there. Have more reserve. So Jake will win out. Because after all, probably take out the 7 health tank and probably hit a full health tank. Is a pipe scene. And then now leave Jake 2 more 4 health tanks to work with. So Jake will win out down south at current rate. Though Jess does have a good number of tanks over here to reinforce. I'm going to use an infantry unit to pick off that one. Yes, she does. Do you have a beatdown available? no alternative piece to use a plus 1 in direct range. Looks like this game is just going to be filled with tanks. Jake has gone for a battlecopter. Just battlecopters are just not great, but not horrible. They're still usable. They're not like Drake's battlecopter, as opposed to Jake's. Jake. I don't know why I always have trouble getting those two mixed up in as well. Does strike the black boat there. Rotating the tanks back over here. 19,000 versus 19,000, though that made him flip there, so that could be, yep, 18,000. See the 18 there. Good hits. Does take out some infantries there. Infantry, tank. Set infantry unit twice. Hits the black boat. Tanks starting to pull back up here. A-tier tank. Hits the infantry unit twice. Infantry, battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Right now, Jess has a good number of tanks over here. Jake has a good number of tanks and battlecopters over here. So it looks like both sides are front switching to their opponent's other flank, meaning they're missing each other once again. Does the infantry unit on the mountain. Tank, infantry. We do have a block rock available. Jess almost has enough for overcharge, but her turbocharge or overdrive. Her turbocharge is still pretty good superpower. Beatdown's very situational since it does not provide any additional movement range. 137,000 versus 123, 19 versus 18,000 income. There's one despicable neutral property left on the map, right there. Set unit twice. We're obviously trying to set them up. Let's just go ahead and try to weather out the overdrive. Turbocharger may be a bit better. Depends if she needs extra firepower. 0 already or 8 here from Jake. All brawling units. 8 here can be... You can skip out 8 here if you assume you have a good number of battlecopters, which in this case he does. Jess has 1 battlecopter and Jake has 4. You said brawling units. That's a single line of units there as opposed to 3 lights, including a black boat. I don't know why, that just seems sort of nice. Just that. For the battlecopter tank. Oh, we got a recon. Now got a second line. But like I said, if your opponent doesn't go for too many battlecopters, well, Jess's battlecopters are usable. She still minimizes deployment. But if you just go for a large number of battlecopters, that's one way to counter them. Got some good hits up there. Takes out that tank. Catch up some of these properties, maybe use as bait, but there's nothing too nearby to take the bait cost effectively. Let's see. Old, I think that's one reason why he went for a recon. He needs a recon to spot because he has no vision where his opponent's battle line is. Though Jake will start catching some properties down south, which is going to be very nice for him. Tank, recon, and infantry. Saving 5,000 fundings. Which right now that means you can start getting out Neo tanks next turn. Takes out the 1 health infantry unit there, pulls back 1 health infantry unit here. And rotating around. Infantry tank ain't here. And start of 161, Jake starts with 151, so still pretty even. Just has an ever so slight advantage. Both these players will have +2 movement range with their superpower, so both of them will reach very far. Artillery, battlecopter, and tanks. We do now have artillery on the field. Pulls back a little bit there, so both players sort of pulled back from no man's land. Try to flip 2 properties. One can be interrupted. This one will be forfeited. Not particularly how since the tank in the way. Could have sacked this tank there to get the not. It's probably good idea not to stop it. As well comes Jake's +2 movement range, only affects ground vehicles. The battlecopters do not get affected by it, but the battlecopters do get affected by the plane's firepower bonuses. Couple hits there, interrupts all across the line, which could be useful for his baits. Pushing forward a little bit more, but can't push too far forward, else he will see the superpower. But with enough units in reserve, she can probably just run a little bit short and then get hit by a severe counterattack. I have a feeling she's going to pop her turbocharged overdrive this turn. Maybe not. She is lacking recons. She does have 2 in the field. One right there, the other one somewhere. Both are right there, so no recons up north. With our cast division, we know this is probably a better spot for recons. Actually, she just doing a front shift again. I swear, this game's been filled with front switches. Takes time to actually shoot the black boat, finally, because we'll start hitting the pipe seam later on. Neo tank to go on the field with the stealth deployment location. Infantry in Neo tank. Infantry, battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Recons, cost not a whole lot. Does go and lose a tank there to the artillery. That's in the auxiliary. Yeah, it's not really the auxiliary, it's out the front line. Those will be extra tile away from the front line, so the second line. Battlecopter, infantry, infantry, infantry. Saves 10,000 funds there. What does this map support again? No black boats, but does support seaplane, or not seaplanes, stealths. Oh, we do have the turbocharge, so it gets +1 movement range and increase the firepower from 10% to 20% for ground vehicles. Not to mention just a bit of resupply for everything, which is to top it all off. Takes out 1 tank, hits 2 tanks. ATR takes out battlecopter. Does get +1 movement range, so maybe try to do a bit of front switch for that +1 movement range. And with a little extra power charge in the next turn, she can get another turbocharge for a 1-2 punch. Battlecopter, anti-air, infantry, infantry. Not a great turbocharge, honestly. Picks off these units quite handily, though there could be a counterattack down from these units down south. And there's not much to really stop these units there. A couple battlecopters are just going to reign supreme. Neo tank straightforward. Artillery does take out the pipe seam. Another Neo tank there, and the black boat's down. Or was it the Neo tank that took out the pipe seam? Wasn't paying too close attention. Oh well. Making a counterattack. May deploy a turbocharge this turn. Needs much power charge. Will she just going to try to wound everything to soften the counterattack of the blocked rock? Because it's probably going to be a blocked rock next turn. Tank infantry. Now it's going to be for beatdown. Full block rock. Battlecopters on the 18 field. Booster strike there. No boost strike there. Boost strike there. No boost strike there. Boost strike there. No boost, or another boost strike there. No boost strike. Boost strike. Booster strike. Boosted strike. And booster strike there. Cleans up all those units there. Jess now has access to another overdrive. But she did take a severe amount of damage there. That's for another Neo Tank. Infantry. 30,000 income versus 18. And her 220. Starts from 151 for day to day. So she's effectively 170. But she's still 50,000 funds behind. So she's pretty far behind. Here comes the Overdrive to help equalize the situation. Medium tank push right forward. Push off that tank there. Takes out another tank there. Anti-air finish off battlecopter. Anti-air finish off battlecopter. Anti-air finish off battlecopter. Battlecopter finish off tank. Battlecopter finish off tank. Tank finish off tank. Or gets a good shot into it. Tank onto tank. Finish that one off. Gets a good strike there. Takes out the tank. Hits the infantry unit there. Hits the recon there. Hits the infantry unit there. Hits the unit infantry trying to capture the lab. Infantry, anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. Inserve 168,000, but does manage to inflict quite a bit of damage there. What, 70,000 damage to the last turn? That's quite significant. So she has a slight advantage now. Of course, she has no counter to the battlecopters down south. And that's going to be clean sweep in favor of Jake there. You can start sending infantry units down south and start capturing up these properties. A lot of stuff just hang on there. This tank could actually head up. Don't think good idea to send Neo Tank this way, but we'll be quickly trying to clear everything up in this region. Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 dead battlecopters that last turn. And Jake's flank over here is pretty smashed, though the Neo Tank helps stabilize. Just to be careful about the medium tank. Infantry, tank, and battlecopter. Needs to get some reinforcements over here. Get some infantry units over here. Trade there. Lots of infantry units being picked on off. Got 1 health tank there that gets picked off as well. She can make a medium tank work, but medium tank's honestly a bit more of a defensive tool than an offensive tool due to their slow move speed, but they still can contend against Neo Tanks. Neo Tanks don't has as high armor as you expect for its value. It has just extra mobility. Another medium tank there. Right now she has 17,000 income, so right now she's having trouble forwarding Neo Tanks amount. 21,000 for 17,000. So she can forward a medium tank every single turn, barring the fact that she will have to commit a base skip. So Neo Tanks is probably the question. Well, Jake, however, if he just has a slight hold over some money to the next turn, he can start chaining out Neo Tanks again, which he's been constantly doing. Trying to flip 2 properties. That third one will be on the way next turn. Looks like Neo Tanks trying to roll up north. Just probably going to have a couple tanks down south to help keep this area secure. We'll be losing a battlecopter there, but interrupts the capture. Right now, maintaining these properties would be very important due to his income advantage. And Jess will start catching some properties next turn, these 2. Here, tank and infantry. Open the conquer, hits the battlecopter, hits that infantry unit there. Strike the infantry unit there. Tank will strike the tank. We have a beat down available. Medium tank is actually in range of the Neo Tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just a matter of scouting out and get pathing there. Probably not going to happen. Recon, infantry, and tank. Instead of 184,000, Jake has 154, so he is down by 30,000 or a turn and a half. But does capture a good number of properties there. Now just that's going to have 15,000 income next turn, which is going to stop her from getting on Neo Tank to counter. She's going to be struggling. She can get on Medium Tank. Yeah, she probably will have to do that. Does strike the regular tank there. Neo Tank push right forward. In range this Medium Tank, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With a power, will be in range. It probably would be a good trade. Good strike there. I think she should go for a turbocharge this turn and probably counterattack one of those Neo tanks. One of these mini tanks is in range. This one is not going to be in range. Even with the superpower. Capture some properties this turn as well. 18 versus 20,000. Does go for turbocharge. Recon strikes infantry unit there. Battlecopter strikes Neo tanks, softening it up to allow her medium to get a better shot. Red tank does finish off there. Do have a block rock available. A lot of battlecopters and ETers by Jess right there. She does strike the Neo tank as well. Does get shot into some regular tanks there. Jake does have a good reserve of battlecopters right here. Infantry, ATR, infantry. One flip. New tank strikes ATR. Oh, if he would have done that first, he would have been easy to one-shot that ATR. Does finish off at least a 3 health tank. Does strike the regular tank there. Battlecopter does not give a strike there. Battlecopter gets a booster strike there. Booster strike there. Infantry units push way forward. Booster strike there. Tank, battlecopter, infantry, and infantry. ATRs make a good counterattack. She's been having these ATRs on point, that's for sure. Neo tank getting struck multiple times. Medium tank managed to get a good strike from the Neo tank as well. She's just making her medium tanks just effective enough to deal these Neo tanks. Softening up a little bit with the battlecopters and finishing and putting big holes in those Neo tanks and medium tanks. She's been playing quite well with being a tech disadvantage. Neo tank infantry. She finally gets out her own Neo tank. 18,000 income versus 20,000 income. And both players are, or this one did get interrupted, but this comp tower is being interrupted as well. Takes the battlecopter. ATR on ATR, ATR on ATR. It's the regular tank there. Neo tank strikes medium tank. Still got this medium tank in reserve. Another Neo tank, infantry. It looks like Jess will get both comm towers. That's going to be quite significant. Capture and capture. Not only get a start on flip, but also capture the comm tower. Now she has plus 3% firepower global with another plus 10% off all of her ground vehicles. So this medium tank will pose a serious threat to this Neo tank. More so now. She almost has enough for overdrive as well. I actually pulls back the tank there. Is that a misclick? I mean, it would be a good idea to sack the medium tank to hit the Neo tank, in my opinion. Infantry ATR tank. Yeah, I'm not sure why she pulled back the medium tank. Drake's made a good counter attack up north. Needs to get that comm tower recaptured. Overdrive's not available. Interrupts the capture. Pushes artillery forward. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. ATR recon infantry. Does take out that door, puts good around that tank. Trying to flip the comp tower and a city there. Gets that unit down there. Battlecopter, infantry. Jess right now, after all the repairs, only has 12,000 income to bank. Jake has 100 and serve 116. Jess starts the turn of 123, so she's about 1 turn advantage right now. Try and flip motor properties. Does go for a turbocharge rather than overdrive. You can finish off recon rather than going straight from the Neo tank. Neo tank strikes the Neo tank. Gets good round onto it. She steals both comm towers, so this is the turn to make some good progress with extra firepower. Lots of picks right there. She won't keep it though, she's overextending up there. Yep, front switch time. But she's making excellent headway. In turn for 133 versus 84. So Jake's about 2.5 turns behind. Goes for his full block rock. Regular tank strikes the regular tank, hits the infantry unit there. Hits the tank there. Neo tank strikes the medium tank, nearly knocking it out. And hits the resign button there. It's Angrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay.